Kyle Henderson, Bama football on YouTube. Little Sunday morning chat. Having coffee right now. It's a beautiful Sunday. To lead off, let me know what you're grateful for inside the comment box. I mean, for me, my kids, obviously, and uh, of course, you guys, the channel, have, just a lot to be grateful for. So, just starting out on that note, like to practice, gratitudes in the morning. Um, Clifford Omoruyi is set to make an announcement today. Man, the coffee's hot. So, this is monumental news, and I'm sure you're waking up and you're like, man, where's the news at with some of these football commits? But on the basketball front, Clifford Omoruyi is the transfer prospect out of Rutgers. He is 6'11". He is 200, I don't know, 50 pounds. And good morning to everybody inside the comment box, inside the Undefeated. I appreciate you guys. You guys are the early morning riser crew. With me, I literally, I love to wake up early. Feel good. So with Clifford Omoruyi, who will be deciding today, I don't even know. Does anybody know inside the Undefeated what time that he is announcing? He's announcing today. Good morning, Jermaine. I see you inside the comment box. Good morning to you. This is a significant transfer watch. If you have Instagram, if you have Twitter, whatever, turn on your notifications and get ready for a big one. If he commits to Alabama today, Alabama's basketball team, at least on paper, roster-wise, in my opinion, already has a better roster than they did this past season, which is crazy because they just made the Final Four. Alabama, as we've talked about many times, needed a rim protector. Bediako left just a season too early, and that impacted Alabama. I was actually surprised that Alabama was able to overcome games where they faced bigger teams. For example, like in the backstretch, that Clemson team, what was that? Was that the Elite Eight game? Man, they were ultra talented. Those two bigs down low were aggressive, dominated the paint, but Alabama was able to get past that, able to win that game. I looked at the game against North Carolina. Man, that was a street fight. That was one of the most entertaining basketball games that I've seen. So when they get into the Final Four game, they just didn't have enough inside. I can't believe that they didn't have any fast break points in that game. I still can't believe that. And think about it. I don't know if the guy from UConn, Klingon, would have been better than Bediako. I'm assuming he would have been, but at least Bediako would have given them a better shot to be able to win that game. So the point is, you need a rim protector. And if you're more of a football fan or whatever, a rim protector, it's exactly what it is. It's somebody who dominates the paint, the big body, big presence. Now, you might look at Grant Nelson if you don't follow basketball. You're like, well, he's 6'11". Can't he do it? No. There's differences in body style, body types, just like there is in football, Be like having, tight ends are completely different than wide receivers. So Omoruyi is set to decide, and I think it comes down to Georgetown, Kansas State, North Carolina, and Alabama. He was recently here, did the whole thing with Coach Nate Oats. And I think if I'm Omoruyi, I'm looking at the stability of Alabama. And, of course, all these programs have stability. Sun's rolling back from a sleepover. What's up, Kaden? Morning. And I think when even Caden's an early riser. What's up, everybody? I appreciate you guys being here. Happy Sunday to you. And when you look to the stability of Alabama's basketball program, you see that the trajectory is, it's what is sky's the limit for this program under Nate Oats. And I think, if you're practicing gratitude this morning, be thankful about that. because I know you waited a long time if you have been a basketball fan for something like this to be taking place. And I'm talking about a high level basketball team that has a real shot at bringing home Alabama's first ever national championship. Glenn, what's up? I see you inside the comment box. Glenn is saying he could be a much needed toughness from the bigs. Also, if he can pass out the post, it could give us the 3-point chances. Yeah, I mean, there's plenty of things that, Amori could bring to Alabama. We're talking the decision date of Amori today, who will be announcing. I'm not even sure what time. So let's make a cut out of this. And I feel that the stability that Nate Oates has presented over the last couple years is monumental, even despite the fact that he has lost very talented players, but also the coaches underneath him, right? Think about he's starting to send coaches to other college programs to be head basketball coaches. That is a sign of an elite coach. The same thing happened to Saban every single year, and you were never worried because Coach Saban was still here. I watched more of what's up, Adam? Good morning to you. Early risers. That's what we're doing this morning. I watched LeBaron Philon again. Some of his highlights he played. What was it, like some sort of All-Star game last night? He's crazy. He's so good. I don't know, where he's going to fit in terms of the roster. I don't know if he's a day one starter. You also have Aiden Holloway coming in from Auburn. And we're still waiting on Mark Sears. People have been talking about Clifford Omoruyi. If he does end up picking Alabama today, would that be a bigger impact in terms of a transfer coming in than Grant Nelson last year? Damn, maybe so. But I don't know. I mean, Grant Nelson, that was a huge pickup. I mean, they would both be huge. This one might be a little bit more impactful just because we know what we're working with now here at Alabama. Like, this is a team that can win a national championship. Think about it like this. Let's just throw out a hypothetical roster, okay? Let's say you have, let's say Mark Sears doesn't come back. So, I don't know, maybe you put LeBaron Philon at the 1, and you put Aiden Holloway at the 2, Right Cell at the 3, Grant Nelson at the 4, and let's say Amori decides to come to Alabama, then you put him, at the 5. I mean, that's an elite, talented team. You also have Diobate, you have Jaren Stevenson, right? There's probably, several other guys that I haven't mentioned. Isn't there? There's another transfer that's coming in. Like, that's 8 guys, 3, 4 off the bench that are elite. The Stevenson kid, that kid's phenomenal. I can't believe he's 6'11". And can you imagine if Mark Sears does come back? Let me ask you, early risers of the undefeated. Do you think that Mark Sears will come back? Yes or no? Type Y for yes and type N for no if you think Mark Sears will come back. Y for yes, N for no. Man, it's beautiful out here this morning. All right, we got a couple Y's already up in the building. W. Anthony with a W. I guess that just means win. All right, another Y. Man, that's great. That will break this thing called the internet. Okay, I got another question. What's up? OG and RD are saying yes as well, and Anthony is saying W. Okay. This video was titled Decision Day for Cliff Omoruyi. Do you think that he will pick the Alabama Crimson Tide? Yes, type Y for yes, and type N for no. I don't really make predictions. That's not my space. Those other guys who make predictions do a damn good job. Glenn is saying no. No. Oh shoot. No. Oof. Damn. Man. So okay. Let's talk hypotheticals if Amori does not pick Alabama. Who is your big man? Do you still go after yeah, and you're right, Glenn. NIL doesn't matter with Amori because he's playing over here on a visa. Now, there's probably different ways. People are so super creative in terms of, getting him the money or whatever. So I don't know. Um, I don't know. I mean, Alabama's going to be, make a run and be in the national spotlight. Glenn is saying Georgetown. Um, man, I think big man of Georgetown. I think what Patrick Ewing. Um, I don't know where things stand with the Kentucky big, Ugana Onisa. I kind of either one I would welcome. Either one you'd be fired up about. I don't know. I just kind of have a little bit of a better feeling about Ugana in terms of like him fitting in. But then I watched some Omori highlights yesterday, and I was like, damn, I didn't realize how aggressive he was around the rim. I mean, you're talking some monster dunks. The big red dog. You guys remember that, right? Growing up, that's what Clifford was. It was the big red dog. It came in like a big book. There was even the cartoon too. The cartoon didn't pick up like Curious George, right? The man with the yellow hat. But Clifford, everybody knows Big Clifford for sure. You see that video of Roll Tide Willie, right? He's with the Alabama assistant coach, and the coach goes into his office, and Roll Tide Willie's in there, and he's watching, like, Clifford, the cartoon. All right. So we are watching Chris Amori, and if he does pick the Alabama Crimson Tide, we'll have another video on him. I wanted to talk about the weekend visitors, and I think it was yesterday, the day before, that Memphis, what's up, man? Appreciate you. I felt that Khil Jacobs out of South Alabama was going to come to Alabama, pick Alabama, and that would be a transfer portal pickup. Well, he ends up he didn't cancel. He rescheduled his visit for the Alabama Crimson Tide for next weekend. Now, the reason why people are like, pissed off about this is because it's coming after a visit to Auburn, right? He was at the barn, posted pictures on social media, reschedules his visit with Alabama and the coaching staff for next week. I'm going to ask you again on our morning coffee session. This is on Khil Jacobs. Do you feel that Khil Jacobs will end up picking Alabama? Type Y if you think Khil comes to Alabama. Type N if you think he goes elsewhere. So, Khil Jacobs. What's up, everybody? Good morning to you. These are the early risers of the undefeated. Damn, RD is saying no again. Okay. I felt good about Khil Jacobs. Now, the one reason, if I'm playing devil's advocate, while Khil Jacobs, see, it could be an NIL deal, but like if you're Khil Jacobs and you're where he's at in his career, right? He's played a couple seasons, and I know he played under Kane Womack. But if you're coming here, you're on. In my opinion, and I don't know, they could put him at, maybe the Husky or something like that. But the inside linebackers are taken, right? Deontay Lawson, Jahad Campbell. Keanu Cole's been doing a damn good job. Q Rob's coming on. Quay Russo's having a monster year, or should have a monster year. So I don't know where you even put him. But you do need depth, and they could pay him some. So I don't know about Khil Jacobs. I just thought, because of the connection to Kane, that would be a really good selling point. So he will be in next weekend. And Adam, I know you had talked about this before. Um, skeptical about a player from South Alabama. Yeah, and you should be, you have every right to, wonder how these players who didn't play in the Power Five conference, how they are going to fare at this level. And I guess my only example that I can think of right now is the conversation that we all had when Jalen Key was added from UAB last year, right? Um, a lot of people had their concerns about him. I did too. But he came over here, and I thought he did a really fine job. I mean, he didn't come over here, and he wasn't like overly exceptional. But he eventually was a starter because Devontae Smith was hurt, and he did a good job coming in. And that's why it's important to have depth. And Adam, I know we've talked about it before, that these freshmen that Alabama have here, they're probably more talented. Whether it's in the secondary or linebacker, Husky, Rover, whatever. But in terms of playing experience, I think you still need somebody to come in that has playing experience to be able to provide some veteran leadership within the room, and to also get competition going. Like, I think the more competitive the room is, the better the unit is, the better the players on the field is. But I think what is happening right now is is competition has never scared the players at this level. What's up, dog? Appreciate you, man. Competition has never scared players at this level, but competition has scared handlers and parents more than ever because of NIL. And the parents and the handlers, they're not worried about competition because they know that their players are going to play on the field, but they're worried about that player not playing right away so they can't get a bigger bag of NIL money. So that's where the tampering is happening, is that when there's competition and, we assume we know the starters going forward, the tamperers are coming in and like, hey, your guy is not slated to be a starter. He's not going to get the NIL money. We can give him a bigger bag. And the handlers and the parents are like, you know what? That's not a bad point. Talk to the player. Let's get out of here. And so when competition is happening, I mean, look, I don't know if this is the case, but why did James Brockmeyer leave? And I have no idea if it's like a tampering deal, but I mean, he was competing for the center spot. Who knows? He could have even beat out Parker Brailsford. Peyton Woodyard. He would have stayed and get developed. And again, I have no idea if there's tampering going on. But I'm just, trying to put things together, based on like the handlers and the parents. You don't think that they're getting paid out of this? 1,000,000% they are. So I think that is what competition is not scaring players. They've always been in competitive spaces. I think the handlers and the parents are getting nervous about NIL and where that money is going to because it impacts them directly, and they ultimately steer their players other places. It's amazing to see how many players are transferring around to like their third school. One of the examples that I have, two examples that I have, Jeremy Bernard, this is his third stop. And things are going to work out for him. I mean, he's probably going to be, one of the top wide receivers here, if not the top wide receiver. But he went to Jeremy Bernard, Michigan State, then Washington, then Alabama. Remember Jabbar Muhammad, who Alabama was in play for? Well, he went from, he go to Oklahoma, then Washington, and then went to, what was it, Oregon? So, and Coach Saban said that the more times you transfer, the least likely you are to graduate. You also have King Mac in town. this weekend, and you have Deshaun Jones out of Wake Forest. You need to pick somebody up. And I know Kobe Minor out of Indiana is visiting next weekend, but you need to put some guys in. And the thing about the transfer portal is while it is closed, guys that are in the portal, they could still commit to you at any point in time going forward. So you could have like someone from the transfer portal commit like in June, I mean July, whatever, and still be able to be eligible this year. You just can't put your name anymore in the transfer portal, right? And there's still probably some late additions that hit the portal in terms of paperwork that we could see. I don't know, today would be like a really big stretch, but that's kind of the case. Adam saying Stetson Bennett was at UGA since like 1915 and still didn't graduate. Yeah, Van Wilder, right? You seen that show, Van Wilder? So I think there's a couple high school prospects as well that could also visit. But the selling point for Deshaun Jones, and you can watch his film. I watched his film. And even King Mac. I don't know if King Mac comes in here. I don't think he starts. But I think the corner position is up for grabs. And that's no disrespect to anybody that is currently a corner. But, considering you lost Kool-Aid and Terran Arnold, in the first and second rounds, those spots are open for business. And I was talking with Coach Sean yesterday, and I asked Coach Sean, I was like, hey, what's your assessment of Damani Jackson? You can go watch that video to see what Coach Sean had to say about Damani Jackson. I just, look, I think he has a very high ceiling, but until you can actually prove it in the SEC at this level, man, I am nervous about the corner position, 100%. I'm not worried about the safeties. I think that Malachi Moore, Keon Sabb, a young, talented freshman or whoever can definitely step up. But I am concerned about the corner position because I look to the teams that are on Alabama's schedule that are going to absolutely target those corners. I mean, look, last year, can you name a country from an edit? I'm not sure what that means. Last year, think about Alabama's corners and who they faced. The receivers last year, they were crazy, right? Ole Miss's wide receivers were elite. Tennessee's wide receivers, elite. LSU, are you kidding me? Right? So there's probably a couple other teams that I'm missing in there that they played. So name a certain cat for an edit. Wait. Man, was it me or did Jackson look light during A-Day? Kind of. What's up, Stacy? Good morning to you. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's why I'm concerned about the corners. Like, I mean, it was a small sample size. Damani looks, like he can play. He's going to be the guy. They need him to be the guy. I mean, I know he was chasing down Bernard a couple of times, but you need the corner position. I think if you're looking at Alabama, let me ask you this. On a scale of 1 to 10, with 10 being like an elite group, what would you say, just the corners, what would you say the corners are right now? 10 being an elite. Like the running backs, I think they're like a 8, or no, they're like a 9 or a 10, right? Quarterbacks, 9, 10. But in terms of cornerbacks, guys who actually play against wide receivers on the daily, what would you rank them? Stacy, what's up? See, okay, yeah, you guys are right. 5, 6. No, I 100% would say that. I think, yeah, I would say 6 as well. And now that can change because these corners are going to only grow up, and a ton of them got here as early enrollees. So they have experience in that sense of being here at the program, being in the weight room. But there's going against, these guys on the daily, Kobe, Kendrick Law, Johnny Bernard, Emmanuel Henderson, the list goes on. But they're unproven, 100%. Hey, think about this. No corner. Who started last year for Alabama's secondary? For Alabama. Who? Is that it? Alabama returned one starter in the entire secondary. That doesn't mean that they're not good. That, yeah, unproven is a fantastic word. They're just an unproven group. So those are my concerns. I've already talked about the fact that, right, Artie's like Moore. Yeah, that's the only starter. Um, I already talked about the kicker a bunch. Feel good about that. I feel great about that. Um, Offensive line, Caden Proctor coming in. You know, Graham and Caden are the biggest additions to any program in the country in terms of the transfer portal. I know, Ole Miss loaded up, Ohio State loaded up from the transfer portal. Good for them. But I think in terms of like fixing immediate needs, Alabama did exactly what they needed to do. But I keep the last couple of days I've talked about Ole Miss and Lane Kiffin and what they're capable of doing. Who knows, man? Only lost 2 games last year. That was to Alabama and to you know Kirby Smart. Um, so those are the things that we're watching today. Any sort of commitment news from Clifford Omoruyi, and then to see what else happens with some of these weekend visitors that are here for the Alabama Crimson Tide. But I'm a morning person, so kind of just wanted to jump on and kind of wrap with you guys. Do you have any Alabama football related questions for me? I'll stick around for a few more minutes. Such a beautiful day. You guys want to see the hood? Is the hood? Right? Nothing was given to me. Every single thing earned, right? Years and years of hard work. It's beautiful. Look at that sky. Weather's on point, man. I should be out at the driving range. On Sundays here because there's too many. Everybody plays. So during the week is prime. They opened up a new golf course um, here in Tuscaloosa, or they actually it's kind of like they reopened an area. It's called Hidden Meadows. Nice and peaceful looking. Yeah, I appreciate it. Yeah, it is a peaceful neighborhood. It's really good for my kids. As I've mentioned, I have full custody of my kids, and you know, this area is so good for them in terms of, you know, hanging out with their friends. The school is close by, um, you know, and so I'm just like a lot of it is if I'm not, on the channel, I'm just really pouring into the kids. So kids see me every single day, lunches for them, breakfast for them, driving them here and there. If you're a parent, I mean, that's we talked about in the morning of the show, practicing gratitude. It's one of the things. It's like, my life is devoted to them. They're not only like being their personal chauffeur and doing this, but also like their mental stability, right? Their um, you know, and that comes with being a parent. Um, and so where I'm at is close to Lake Tuscaloosa, but I don't have a boat. They always say it's better to have know a friend with a boat. So one of my good buddies has a boat. uh, my girlfriend worked at North River Country Club and loved it. Yeah, yeah. I was. I'm not a member of it right now, um, but I was a member of North River for I think 3 years. I'm thinking about renewing my account there because of they got like this amazing pool and the facilities. So maybe you know, I'll do that again. But North River is amazing. Saban's always out there. I mean, since I haven't been out there, I haven't like seen him, but I always see him on the course. And Saban could play golf 100% too. I mean, I think he's like a 5 handicap. Um, he can definitely play. And Cedric, he can play as well. I mean, all those guys. And that's if you want to meet the coaches and interact with a lot of those guys kind of away from football is golf. You know who was an amazing golf player? Now you probably don't want to hear his name, but he was a scratch golfer beyond. Was Pete Golding, but I think Pete Golding played in college. And maybe I could say this now since these guys are both gone, but I heard that T Rob and Pete Golding, this is just hearsay, but I heard that they used to go out to North River and have some epic, match play for some big money. I don't know if that's true or not. It's just what somebody told me. But Pete Golding could definitely play. So, oh, that's cool. That's what's up, Adam. Um, yeah, Artie's like, don't buy a boat. It's horrible. Yeah, I just, I don't have, any property on the lake or anything like that. So anytime I do get to go out to the lake, it's dope. I really enjoy Lake Tuscaloosa. It's a good lake. It's a good spot. It's been good to me. I've lived in Tuscaloosa now for, it's crazy to say this, but eight years, right? It's crazy. Kind of the growth of, myself during that 8 years and the channel and all the things that I've learned and what Alabama, like the city of Tuscaloosa, how it's grown and the coaches that have been brought in. And there's been so much that has happened in 8 years, right? In 8 years, like flies by just like that, right? Don't you feel that the older that you get, the older you get, the faster time goes by? Do you feel that way? And I feel like since I turned 40, it's like the time just like flies. Right? Stacy, are you with me on that? It's crazy. I felt when you were like younger, the kids are about to get out of school now, but like uh, when you hit summer, you were like, man, it was like an endless summer. 2 months was like 2 years. Now a month is like a week. Think about this. Like, what is today? Cinco de Mayo? Right? Do I miss New Mexico? Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, sometimes I wonder, if it wasn't for my kids being so established here, if I would relocate and live somewhere else, whether that's, New Mexico or, somewhere else. I'm not sure. But yeah, I mean, of course. I mean, all my family's out there. So, that's another reason I'm so heavily involved in the kids is because, there is no aunt, there's no uncle, there's no grandma, there's no grandpa. It's just, me out here. But yeah, New Mexico. I miss the food too. But you know, those burritos aren't going anywhere. Um, and I'm curious to see what happens in the next 8 years in terms of the direction of the program under Coach Kalen DeBoer. Right, he's got the big hefty the big hefty contract. Nate Oates has the big contract. Things are popping off. I mean, yesterday was graduation here in Tuscaloosa. And, what an honor to graduate. A. B, the city was just flourishing. I mean, all the parents that are here, all the visitors that are here, like downtown has completely evolved into these really nice condos. They're continuing to build on restaurants. I mean, I think one of the things that I am a little bit frustrated in, if anything, with Tuscaloosa is just like the continuation of the construction. Like on like the roads, all the roads are being worked on, like every single one. So that's a little bit frustrating. But other than that, I wish there was, maybe a little bit more like entertainment. But no, it's been a really good place. I mean, I think the home prices are way too high in this zip code 35406. But I mean, like Northport, man, you can like there's some beautiful areas in Northport with a little bit more space, some really nice homes that you can get. So, but yeah, it's been good. It's been a good 8-year run out here. I don't even where you guys have in terms of summer plans. I need to figure out what I'm gonna do. Yesterday, if you guys follow me on Instagram, just Mr. Kyle Henderson. I did my workout group, right? And everybody, then we go out and we talk. Um, we have coffee after, and everybody was like going to the lake. Everybody was doing like these amazing things, and I'm sitting here. I'm like, man, I gotta do something dynamic. So I went out and got some crawfish, and T and I just posted up and had crawfish. Then I ran a couple errands, but I like to do things. Like today is Sunday. Um, I know Sunday is a day for rest, but I'm like so active that I love to do projects, clean my truck, vacuum, work on like house items. Like I'm like that. But long story short, what we are watching today is Clifford Omoruyi, who will be announcing at some point in time. When that news happens, probably drop on and provide, my take, talk about the outlook, and keep you covered on coverage that is related to Alabama football, basketball. Adam is asking Kyle serious question. Uh, what's it like having a kid? My girlfriend wants one that scares the hell out of me. um, Look, I have two children. Um, I think it's the biggest blessing in your life is having children. Am I busy as all hell? Yeah. I mean, am I constantly on them, in terms of, helping them with the direction of life? Of course. But I mean, if anybody's a parent inside the comment box, yeah, it's like the biggest blessing. Time's always fleeting with them. So you have to be able to, push aside, you know, any type of, wouldn't necessarily say ego, but you have to put them first. So if you're ready to do that in your life and you have time to do that and you're in a good place financially and mentally, and because the biggest thing that kids need, the biggest thing is stability, right? Emotional stability, financial stability, right? Direction, discipline, most importantly, love. You know what I'm saying? So like, so if you're in a place that you could provide that for somebody else, then, you know, I think you're good for it. But it's a lot. It doesn't stop. It's not like I could take time off today. It's like, okay, I'm not a dad. You're all the time. You're a mom all the time. So that's how it goes. But just wanted to hop on here. I'm a morning person. Wanted to wrap with you guys. I hope you have a beautiful Sunday. If news happens, we got you covered right here at Bama Football on YouTube. I appreciate you guys so much for being with me this morning. Have a wonderful, lovely day coming to you from beautiful Tuscaloosa, Alabama. And I will catch up with you soon right here on Bama Football on YouTube. Have a beautiful Sunday, fam.